Hello, welcome to PODnas. This is a sports show with a little bit of a Cajun flair. I'm Daniel Hawks. That's Jared Roser. Today we're talking jobs. All right. We are talking
What are
jobs.
they?
Yeah.
Where do
What?
they come from? How do you get one? Might understand some people have 2 jobs?
No. This is wild. I didn't even know. Two multiple? I can't even hold down one. I can barely hold down a part-time volunteer gig with you. But we are talking about the Pelicans assistant possibly going to the Lakers. He's in the interview process, and a former LSU baseball coach finds a new home in the SEC. So let's get to it. Jarrett, how's it going today?
Good, man. Glad we had a chance to link up, ships in the night sort of situation. I got back
It,
from Tampa for OT7 Nationals last night, and you head out tonight to go enjoy Bonnaroo, and so we had a chance to connect and just kinda update
yeah,
the sports happy haps and whatnot.
and I'm very excited because I think because of the happy haps that are happening, I think we just had our best intro ever. So
We're talking
I got the
jobs.
I got the point right. I think it was a good catch-all. Let's see how we build it. Either screw it up or run with it. Let's go. So the Pelicans assistant, James Borrego. He is the assistant head coach for the Pels. He has been in the interview process after Dan Hurley, excuse me. Dan Hurley declined the Lakers 6-year, $70 million offer to be their head coach to pursue the first three-peat since John Wooden back at UConn. Wish him luck. Hope he doesn't get it. All right. Uh, so now that Dan Hurley has turned away, really kind of JJ Redick has come back in the picture, and then also the Pels assistant, James Borrego as well. Jarrett, what do you think about this? You know what I'm going to ask. This is
I
about your thoughts and opinions.
I think first and foremost, hysterical that the Lakers big bag and LeBron James were not enough to lure a college coach. I think that certainly says a lot about Dan Hurley and what he's accomplished thus far and is trying to accomplish at UConn, but says quite a bit about the state of that Lakers job at the moment too, that you don't usually hear of a lot of folks turning down, particularly when the money's good and that money is real good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that I just laughed a lot at that. That was kind of how I saw it happening, definitely how I hoped it would happen, and it was really amusing that it did.
Also, if I'm Dan Hurley, I'm waiting until a job comes open in the East. I'm not going to play
Yeah.
with. I'm not going to play with Wimby and oh, that's Kershaw. Wow.
Hey.
Oh, I caught myself this time. I'm not
Hey,
going to play.
that Kershaw money's about to be real good too.
I know. I may have to pull out from this weekend. Let's X-nay that, whatever. So yeah, but now James Borrego may be taking over the Lakers helm, or at least he's interviewing for it. So what
Yeah,
was he
man.
really do? I know he's assistant head coach on the Pels, but was he known for working with anyone, or did he have a certain what's his like niche? What is his go-to? What's tell me a bit about him.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, which obviously I am so heavily on the high school and college side, I'm not in day to day of Pell stuff, but my understanding is he was brought in to help re-gear that offense and to some mixed successes to how some of that played out certainly, but is obviously a guy that is highly respected. There's a reason why he's been so heavily involved in the Lakers coaching search as well as the Cavaliers coaching search, and is a name that has been consistently involved in recent years with opportunities, head coaching, and as lead assistants. And he's somebody that I don't think the Pels want to lose. Certainly, they'd love to hold on to him, but there are opportunities there where it seems like he's one of the top 2 or 3 candidates for both of those job openings that I mentioned. And then even if this goes the way of the Lakers hiring JJ Redick, who I think is the favorite to get that, and the potential that the Cavs go the Kenny Atkinson direction over James Borrego, I wouldn't be surprised if a veteran coach like him is someone that the Lakers try to target and throw a bag at to come assist a new young head coach, if that is the way they go with Redick. And so even as we see some head coaching roles announced, I'm not sure that takes the Pels completely out of the woods of potentially losing Borrego, but someone that, hopefully gets to stick around in New Orleans and be a part of whatever this somewhat revamped, we think, looking roster has going into next season.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Is there any talk of, if he leaves, is there someone that would step up, or is there any assistant coach on the market that you know of, or because I can't think of any names. This is me purely asking.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think one route to watch potentially, as much as you always want kind of a big splashy move as a fan, is we saw the move with Trajan Langdon in the front office heading to Detroit, and the move for New Orleans was, let's promote Bryson Graham, a guy that's been around a while, has been a part of this, and just kind of bump folks up. And I wouldn't be shocked if that's a route that the coaching staff takes too, where you see sort of stepping up in roles and then bolstering, not necessarily going to hire a big splashy name as your new lead assistant or one of your top couple of assistants, but just continue promoting from within and maybe bolster, a new face that's not as splashy of a name, and kind of lean into some of the continuity and some of the direction that it seems like the Pels have had some success with thus far, but obviously trying to take that next step.
Screw that. Let's hire D'Antoni as an assistant. Bring him back.
We're running it back.
One more time. Well, just come on back. That's my prediction. If I'm gonna just get every prediction wrong, I'm just gonna start making the most wild predictions that I can. And then if one hits, I'll look incredible. But most of the time I'll look dumb, which is already happening. So, so might as well lean into it.
Lean into the skid. And with the D'Antoni claim, I think you might be, really understanding the assignment on your new approach to predictions.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. That's a PODnas guarantee, you guys.
Uncle Sam point and all.
Speaking of Uncle Sam, he's handing out job number 2. We're talking about Paul Mainieri. He is now the head coach for the South Carolina Gamecocks. He finally has taken a head coaching job. I know there are a couple flirtations there. Jared and I kind of talked about pre-pod. So kind of, again, as I'm, like we just said, the stupid one, this goes to college baseball too, where I do not have much of a grasp. So one of my favorite segments upcoming is Jared explains baseball to me. So Jared, just give me like a quick timeline of the Paul Mainieri, a little bit of his coaching career at LSU, and then I know he got pushed out recent seasons. Anything like that, and any kind of the pertinent points, if you will.
Sure. I mean, a great career thus far for Paul Mainieri. Throughout his career leading up to his 15 years at LSU, including that 09 national championship. A guy that had the Tigers where they're expected to be more often than not, competing for national championships and bringing one home in an era of college baseball where there's a little bit more parity and more people are competing at a high level than back in the 90s when we were just raking those things back to Louisiana every other year, pretty much. But at the end of 15 years, they parted ways. I think, there were some feelings on both sides to be ready to kind of have a little bit of a reset or a step away and refresh a little bit. Perfectly honestly, as a guy that watched Mainieri from the time I was a student at LSU on through professional relationships and whatnot, I was sad to not see him be the LSU coach anymore. A ton of respect for him as a coach and as a person. Really enjoyed the time that he was at the helm. But obviously Jay Johnson's done a phenomenal job in Baton Rouge. And now, as much as I was kind of weirded out to potentially think of Mainieri going back to Notre Dame and seeing him in a different uni up there, or even more so to potentially go to Miami when there was some talk of, could he end up being Miami's head coach? Now we have to see him in the SEC at South Carolina. And I think the fact that there's been a little bit more distance now, a couple of years have passed since that 2021 season, that helps somewhat. But the fact that he's an SEC coach makes it weirder maybe in its own way. And I don't know how I feel about it.
You know what it feels like when a couple who are both your friends break up, and you're like, "Oh, I
Mhm.
don't know why they broke up." Everything seems so good. You didn't know inside Baton Rouge, maybe things are getting torn off the walls. And then, they both, like, move on and stuff, and the dude gets a new boyfriend, and then the chick starts dating someone, like, within the friend group, and you're like,
Mhm.
I mean, I know I'm moved on, but it's still like, I gotta
Yeah.
I gotta see you.
But we're still
I gotta,
doing
like
Cinco de Mayo together every year,
yeah.
like, as a yeah,
Yeah, like, I thought we kinda put an end to this.
yeah. Yeah, it's weird, and it's as much as I like to say whether someone transfers or somebody takes a new job or whatever, you wish them luck, and I do wish Paul Mainieri luck. At the end of some of these seasons, there's going to be some. I mean, shoot, we just watched tense moments between LSU and South Carolina this season, 2 weeks ago or whatever in
Yeah.
the SEC tournament, and so now you could have a guy who led you to a national championship. With him coming back, he is now the active leader in coaching wins amongst NCAA coaches, and that guy's going to be in the opposite dugout from you after all the memories of everything that he did in Baton Rouge and up in Omaha and whatnot. It's going to be weird vibes at times, particularly for the first year, a couple years as they see each other, and you kind of get used to seeing a guy that was such a huge part of LSU, not just baseball, but the LSU athletics profile as a whole. And now he's in, maroon and black over there on the other side.
Listen, a tiger roar is better than a rooster scream any day of the week. So he's gonna realize that. I understand, and he'll be like, "I gotta get out of here." And he'll just go to like some UC school, like UC Irvine or something like that. How about that? Again, prediction so off the wall that they're gonna be wrong until they're right.
Also, Also worth noting while we're talking about the Mainieri move, the way it does directly affect LSU right now is Terry Rooney, his former
Okay.
pitching coach in Baton Rouge, who's been involved kind of on the recruiting and player development side in Baton Rouge the last couple of years, is now rejoining Mainieri, and so a direct
Oh wow.
loss from the LSU staff going up to South Carolina, and so that maybe makes it sting a little bit more for some LSU baseball fans
Uh
to have.
is baseball college baseball with the transfer portal, is it as active as the football, basketball portals that we've seen?
Yeah,
And
it's
is
pretty.
there a chance for someone maybe from the Tigers to be like, I want to go play for Paul Mainieri? I wanted to before, and then he got let go 3 years ago, right as I was starting my recruiting process. Is there any chance of that happening?
It could be interesting. The way you led into that, I really thought it was going to be so much more of a basic baseball question. It's like, so with baseball, it's two. Um, but yeah, I don't know how much you'll see guys that are in Baton Rouge right now who have been around long enough that they were recruited by Mainieri years ago that are jumping ship just to go play under Mainieri when you're
Yeah,
looking at a team that just, I mean, less than a year ago right now was winning a national championship. I think as much as guys liked Mainieri, ultimately you want to play at LSU, and you've seen now already proof of concept of the new coach being a national championship coach. And also there's been so in the 3 years since then, there's been so much turnover in that roster. There's only a few guys that would have been around back then anyway. But I do think that the portal, as active as it is in baseball, as much as it maybe doesn't draw quite the same headlines for fans outside of diehard baseball fans as the football and basketball transfer portals do for kind of the average fans every
yeah,
day.
right.
I I think we had looked at after the South Carolina coaching change, was there the potential for some of the South Carolina guys to end up in Baton Rouge? And now it's seeming like, at least from initial Twitter reaction, that some of those guys are pleased with the direction of the hire and maybe more likely to stay in South Carolina. Obviously, you have guys that were working with Terry Rooney, in that building this last year, a couple years that if they were heading elsewhere anyway, suddenly South Carolina has that much more of
Yeah. For
them
sure.
potentially. So we'll see kind of each direction if any of these LSU guys end up in South Carolina or vice versa. But there's going to be a lot of activity for both programs, certainly, with folks coming in. We'll see if any of them happen to have that connection.
So we're not safe. Yeah.
No. I mean,
But
there's going to
did you
be,
see the
yeah. No, I got you.
did you get it? Did you get it?
So in baseball, you can be safe or out,
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
but yeah, I mean, it's going to be an active few weeks right now for LSU, both in terms of the portal. They actually literally, I mean, in the last hour or so before we hopped on here, they added a guy from the transfer portal, not from South Carolina, but it's going to be an active few weeks of transfer for portal stuff, as well as figuring out draft guys and where are they positioned? Are they going to potentially leave to go pro, or do you have some guys coming back that test the draft orders but end up opting to continue their college careers? And so the roster is going to shake up quite a bit regardless, but we'll see exactly where some of those guys are headed, and if any of them possibly end up in South Carolina.
Hey, well, the PODnas will be here to cover it, and I'll be learning every day. That's what we're doing.
And
Hey,
as soon as you figure out some college baseball players' names, you'll have some bold predictions on who's going where.
whoa. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get to that. That actually gives me more like credence to actually like look up. Let me look up some college baseball players besides what is it, Monster or Beast?
Monster Milam
Monster.
is a guy who should be as certain to be in Baton Rouge
70 home runs. 70 home runs for Monster next year. I'm calling it next
spring as anyone. So I don't think we have to worry about Monster heading to South Carolina, and he's not draft eligible yet. And so it seems like he's going to be a core piece of that lineup and infield next year. So you don't have to worry about that. You can continue to enjoy the growing legend of Monster.
Hey, I love that. I love that. Well, hey guys, thank y'all so much. That is all we got for you today.
Hold on. Let me ask you something
go
real
ahead.
quick.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to get a chance to reconnect until at least next Tuesday, by which time we'll have had game 3 of the finals on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Game 4 on Friday, and then game 5 would be on Monday night. Do you think when you get back from your trip that we will still be watching finals games, or we'll be reconvening to kind of wrap up? All right, here's this 5-game or less finals we just watched.
I don't think we'll be playing games. And I'm saying that because I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think we will. If Luka's hurt and he can't go, and maybe Kyrie is placed better in Dallas, but still, like, you're gonna have to win 2 games in Boston, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they can do that. So yeah, that's sad. That was a sad. Why'd you bring that up? That was such a sad moment.
Just wanted to put you on the spot to I mean, if they win both in Dallas, they could be down 3-2 when you get back heading into game 6 on whatever day that is. But yeah, some things have to change. They seems like they had an opportunity with a bad shooting Boston night in game 2 to possibly steal one, but they're just Luka's not right, and
Boston hasn't shot well yet. Like, that's the other thing. Like, and I don't think they're going to keep shooting this poorly, and they're still winning.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I hope there's more basketball. I hope there's more basketball. I'm gonna pray to the Bonnaroo, the Bonnaroo folk, the Bonnaroo Tennessee gods, and say like, hey, let me make it through this weekend with some b-ball and see what they do. They probably won't care, but whatever. I'll try it. Bold predictions, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow PODnas on Instagram at PODnas_LA. Catch us on the YouTube channel. Please like, comment on this video. We'd love to hear from you. He is Jarrett Roser. I am Daniel Hawks. PODnas out.